Now on my right we have the founders of a very interesting label, 2 years old, 3 years old roughly. Say it yourself, the title of your wonderful brand, the name of your brand?
The Small Gatsby.
The Small Gatsby. Teresa and Anita work together in this venture, and we are obviously first of all quite interested, how often do you come to Pitti? Is that the first time? What is the reason to come to Pitti Bimbo to Florence?
Thank you for having us. We're quite honored. The reason for Pitti, it's our first time today, since yesterday, and the reason to come to Pitti is it's quite obvious. You come to Pitti.
Yes.
That's basically it. I've been there personally 3 years ago when I just started as a visitor, and I was, I think the right word is intimidated.
And intimidated because of the sheer number.
The sheer number, the profession, just the professionalism of the brands, the competition, and the beauty of things, and the big organization of all of it. And it was a goal. It was a target we wanted to reach, and it took us a little bit because we wanted to make a very good first impression.
Yes.
And it was the right point in time for us to start with Pitti now.
And you say Pitti is the one where you have to be. That is the trade fair, and that is because you established your brand at a very high level. This is a luxury level, and this is for a selected customer group. So design, fabric, material, that is to be presented here. That's the right environment. That's how you see it.
As I am originally from knitwear, Pitti Immagine Filati was always the most important thing. Pitti Bimbo is then just the last one, so to say.
Yes.
So this is mainly the reason, because Italy means for us still old-fashioned craftsmanship.
Yes.
So this is the place to be if this is something important, and it is very important to us.
Yes, okay.
We do our fabrics ourselves, and we source the ones that we don't do ourselves really in a very conscious way.
Okay, let's quickly, stick only for a few moments with Pitti, and because you are here the first time, and so that's quite a step. It's something you have to think about. It's something you have to prepare. So how did you go about it? Did you, because it's a time investment, it's a money investment. Do you arrange meetings beforehand with potential customers? How did you organize your participation here?
Well, since we have had our experiences with fairs already, it was already a standard process for us. The only difference is that it was closer, because the other fairs were a bit further off. And yes, of course, we arrange our meetings. We invite people who we are interested in working with, and we were quite happy about the fact that most of the invitations were actually accepted. And you only find out once you're there, because everybody can say yeah we will come, and this day, that time, but I think there is so many things to do for a buyer, also for the press at this fair, that if they actually show up or not is always still not quite sure. And so I think the preparations were quite successful.
Okay, very good.
And of course, first you set the budget, and then you figure out what's going on, what you can do. What we really appreciate always as a brand is if there is a lot of possibilities for just for added value, like the catwalk, like PR packages that you can just basically they're ready-made.
You can just join in and,
exactly.
Supply them with the right material.
Exactly, I think it's quite straightforward, to be honest. It's not that complicated once you know what you're doing.
Good. But that's good to know. For all the other companies that might think about shall we go next time in the summer, or so that's reassuring. So but the prime purpose is to display, to present your new collection now.
Yes.
And tell us a bit about the collection, for autumn/winter.
Well, we always have a very specific theme for every collection,
Yes.
and have a different look. And this collection is inspired by the 60s and more of the spy and suspense movies, like
okay.
the Avengers, and
okay.
that fits
Yeah.
really good to children because they're always curious. And, we have bright colors and still like shiny and matte.
Yeah, Matt.
Too simple. Fabrics that
Yes.
really have a nice game in it.
Yeah, so you have a good contrast between
Yeah,
shiny and or glittery and
A bit
matte
like a black and white movie in color.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Very good. And that is a children's fashion range which stretches from 0 to 10 years, or what is your focus?
We have the whole collection is actually from 0 to 18.
Yes.
But we within the collection there are different parts on the different groups of children because as they grow they behave differently. They
Yes.
have different needs.
Yes.
And we try to concentrate on the different needs at their time. So we have the newborns, of course. They don't have colors because we try to avoid all chemicals in there. And then we have the small ones, and then we have the child, and then we have the debut, so the grown-ups.
I see. And you are based in Vienna, lovely Austria, and that implicates that you're producing in Austria as well. Is that so?
Yes, we are producing so far only in Vienna. We have a handful of very small workshops that are close by. There's nothing that's further off than 2-3 hours of a drive in the car.
Okay.
And that's very important to us because the level of quality we provide is on a level that you need to control it and you need to be able to shake everybody's hand involved. And I think this is one of the biggest USPs of our brand. That, if you want to know, you can know exactly who made what, where we got the fabrics from, who did the finishing. We try to make as much as possible within our own workshop in Vienna. And for several specialist things we go outside, but as I said, it's still surroundings of Vienna.
Yeah, that's quite amazing because the most brands you talk to produce and all kinds of places very far away. Sometimes more and more are actually coming back to Europe, which is reassuring. But that you are able to produce in the surrounds of Vienna is very impressive. Coming to let's say the retail side of the business, you need to sell. You've been in the market for a couple of years or 3 years. Did you have a clear strategy? Did you approach certain shops right from the start, shops that you felt comfortable with, or what was the channel to the consumer you chose right at the beginning?
I think the strategy was simply, as we are handmade, as we are at a very high price point, we are quite distinct with our designs. We call ourselves a statement brand because a luxury brand is more or less just telling about the quality, but not necessarily about the design. And since our design is really, we have a theme for each collection that is quite off the last one and to the next one. And the leitmotif is simply the 20s in the silhouette. We have a quite hard to grasp look. So you have to go for shops, for stores who want the off, who are curious and interested in something that is very intriguing and very effectful.
So that's quite a small selection of shops then, I guess.
That is. No, that's really true.
Yes.
Our
so you started in Vienna, or?
No, we didn't start in Vienna. We actually started in Asia.
Okay.
But that simple for us because Vienna is something of a trademark over there.
Yes.
So that was basically the entrance ticket.
Yeah, I see.
And
So
the Made in Vienna really works a lot of places that are far away.
But how did you establish contact with partners in Asia?
I think in the beginning it was we were handed. You make your contacts and one thing leads to another.
Yes.
We actually started in Milano. 3 years ago we had a very nice introduction to a couple of Milanese grown-up designers.
Yes.
And they helped us, and they are helping us still. And that's the reason why we're also always at Fashion Week Milan, as possibly the only kids label.
I see.
Yes, and I think the target for sales was simply to be in the best shop in each country. This was the strategy.
Okay.
In the best shop, we call it the best as in the most interesting and most intriguing. And yes, it must have some, how we say, some arty feel to it.
Yeah, sorry.
And also, it's a heartfelt thing for us.
Yeah.
If we like who we are talking to, then it's going to work out. We always know.
Yeah. Great. And I'm sure in the meantime you've got a shop in Vienna as well, have you?
Actually not.
Not really? Yeah.
No.
How about Germany?
In Germany we just started.
Yes.
We had, in the last days, we had a very high interest. We had several people. I'm not allowed to say names until anything is signed, but I think there's 4 or 5 that we might have from coming September then.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So a question to the designer, because you're looking after design, etc. And that's my last question, we have to come to an end. Unfortunately, there you see how quickly the time passes. When you walk about here, are you, obviously inundated by all kinds of creative, influences and so on. What strikes you most? This season, what is certain color schemes that you find quite new in a way, or do you see certain patterns, certain fabrics that are getting or gaining more importance?
You mean just at this fair?
Yes, at this fair, yes, at Pitti Bimbo.
I have to be honest, I had no time.
You didn't have time to do that?
We have not been, we've just...
Yes, working all the time. Sounds familiar to me.
Because I haven't seen that much so far, but as the whole Pitti itself, it's about movement. I think it's really nice that I see more and more cuts that allow movement.
Yes,
so this is something that I really like about the tendency that I just feel about.
Great. Good. Thank you very much indeed for giving us this insight into how you develop a new brand. Although you've already got some years on your back, but it's very impressive. Thank you. I wish you all the best, and hope we meet here again.
Yes. Thank you.